What is up, everybody? This is Boomfest Tournament for Honor of Kings. We'll be your casters for today. My name is Dion, and I'm here with Mike, and it's gonna be an exciting match. We are in the semifinals, Mike.
And yes, thank you so much, Dion. In fact, we have seen a lot of teams, and now this is the semifinals.
Yeah,
And with that in mind, Dion, what can we expect from that?
I mean, coming from 64 teams in total. For to the viewers out there who do not know, we came out from a best of one series from the qualifiers itself. 64 teams battled it all out, and now
Mhm.
that we are in the semifinals, we are on the top four. So, talking about the expectations, I feel like it's all about the battle for glory because from 64 teams, you're left with four. You're gonna be the best of the best. So, in this semifinals, it's the battle of the best, Moik.
Yes, indeed. These are the four best teams rather in this out of 64 teams. And
Yeah.
it's kind of a new thing to expect from these teams because these teams since the season is starting, it's season 7, it just started.
Yeah,
We might see some
actually.
new plays or we
Mhm.
still might see the same meta from season 6.
That's true. It is a given fact whenever a season or an update does come, the shift of the meta does begin, and so are the players, the teams to adjust towards the meta. And just you said, you can adjust to it. We can actually possibly see new meta changes here or new strategies being compromised by teams, considering that from 64 teams, you are in the top four, and on that position as well, the update has arrived. This could be your chance to actually change out some things, create a little spice for the semifinals.
Yes, exactly. And talking about changes, we might actually see some other plays because let's talk about Dahlia for example.
Uh
Her
huh.
her CC is already removed, and we might see a different
Oh,
pick for both teams. But we still might see maybe another Dahlia player that can play with a new tactic.
that is indeed true. So the teams that will be playing today, Mike. So the top four teams that will be playing in the semifinals are Enclave RV Medan versus Exalt Esports. So the other teams or the other series for later on is AXG Next Gen versus Eureka. So these are the top four teams that will be contending for today. But the thing or the team that will be battling for today in the series will be Enclave RV Medan, which is an Indonesian team, and Exalt Esports, which is a PH team. So Indo versus PH in the semifinals, first series of the semifinals, Mike.
Yes, exactly. And it's exciting to see on how these teams can actually battle it out and bring out the best in each other. Because again, it's still semifinals, but it's the four teams. It's the four best teams, and I'm just excited really to see on what new plays they can bring out to the table.
That is indeed true. And talking about Honor of Kings, Moik, it has been an amazing game to rise up
Yes.
amongst people. And me, you, everyone in the gang, we play this every night, and it has been
Mhm.
really, really fun. And for being the best of the best, it comes in a tournament, and this is where strategies apply, and this is where pressure applies as well. This is where you go tactic for tactic, team play for team play, and Boomfast Tournament is here to deliver that to the audience, and Boom is there to deliver you for the fun.
Yes, indeed. And I've been playing really Honor of Kings. I just couldn't stop, and
Yeah.
when the season ended, I ended up at Master, but it's still a long
Ooh.
way to go, and it's actually exciting to see, especially in the new changes of the season. And who knows, maybe talking about meta, we can actually see maybe still. I mean, Ogren. Talking about Ogren,
Oh
Ogren
man,
still received a lot of nerfs, but even with that, he's still a common pick.
that's true. Because even with
Mm.
all the nerfs that has happened from
Mm.
Honor of Kings, all the updates for Ogren, he's still there in any position. The thing is, Ogren is one of those heroes that is pretty versatile. Whatever role you're gonna put him in, he's
Yes.
always there. He's always banned out. It's
Yeah.
either he's always banned out or he's always picked because of the power that he can actually display or execute in the game.
Mhm. Yeah. And I think now we can see later on with the draft pick. But again, with Ogren and other heroes really. It's exciting to see on what new changes from both of these teams and how they can really use it to their advantage.
Actually, interesting. They're gonna ban out Lady Zen and Long right away. So
Mm.
part of the meta from that last season, Moik, they're gonna ban out before right away. But first pick will go to Salt Esports.
Yeah. Oh yeah, looking at it really. Oh, we actually seen Yadya. I mean, talking about Yadya, it's actually she's the new latest hero, and
Ah,
it's also exciting to see on Exalt Esports on how they can use Yadya to their teamwork. And
yeah.
also we got Mai Shiranui, another meta pick really, especially when it comes to mid. And add that with Lady Sun.
And look at Enclave RV Midan with their pick here, Mike. They're gonna go for a classic Arlie in the game right
Mm,
away. Because
yeah.
ERV Nick, he was like, okay, they're gonna ban out my long, so might as well pick in my Arlie in this game right away. However, very interesting counter farm lane pick here for South Esports, Mike.
Yeah. I mean, if you look at it, Arlie has been a pretty common pick, and Enclave is using that, and it's
Mhm.
also interesting on how they can combine that, especially with their Ogren, and it's also fresh for me to see Liu Bang to be picked for their team, and also kind of expected that Menki ban because Menki is also very annoying,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
now they ended that with Zhangfei for their own, which is a very
Actually,
good
Mike,
support, really.
I've read it earlier that Menki did get buffed by his stats. We
Yeah.
already have Menki with the mass that he has, the crowd
Mm-hmm.
control that he can contribute, the tankiness, and just everything else. And
Mm-hmm.
might as well, actually, for Enclave RV Medan, to ban out the Menki with the
Mm-hmm.
composition that they have, I feel like they're pretty easily can be entered right away with a Menki on the side of Salt Esports. So I think this is one of those bands that is pretty good. But Salt Esports, they're gonna go for a Dune pick, and I think this is good considering that you're gonna chase out for an Arlie and Ogren, which is pretty mobile heroes. So
Yeah.
Dune is actually a good pick here.
Yeah, and also Dun is also a durable fighter, and
Mhm.
also picking Fuzi as your clash lane. That also adds really to the power to the team, especially with Yadi as the support and Lady Sun as well, who deals a lot of damage, and also again with the Mai Shiradui. So I'm also excited to see on how the Exalt Esports is gonna give their all on this match, and also how Enclave is gonna go for a retaliate later on, seeing Princess Frost as their mid lane, which is usually, as people say, Princess Frost is a poor man's Lady Zen, but come on, it still deals a lot of damage. So I'm kind of
That's true.
excited to see on how they're gonna pull that off.
That is indeed true, Mike. And this is game number one between our Salt Esports and Enclave Armiden. We have the players here from Exalt, Blaze, Dansky, Fleur, Darfin, Sedi, and Enclave RB Median. We have Yonsta, Nick, Gustave, Kato, and Clario for game number one of our semifinals match between these two teams.
Yes, exactly. Very excited, especially now we're at the semifinals. That's what I've said a while ago,
Yeah.
and it's again season restart. We've seen common picks still from season 6 being brought again to season 7, and now with the Yadia I also. But now we are here to the game number one.
This is gonna be an interesting match. This is the best of the best battle of all the teams from 64 to 14 for our Salt Esports and Enclave. And this game, Moik, as you said, this is a pretty interesting pick for Enclave considering that they have an Arlie and an Ogren and early rotations right away to try to poke up. The knockup is there. He hits up onto one. Immobilize for the meantime. Another knockback will hit up, and Ogren is on the run. He's still getting all the sustain from the connection that he has. Pops it down with another one, and he's gonna go in. Tansky, he's not done, and they're gonna take down two from Enclave.
And another goes here for Dun. And looking at it really, Dun overpowering already in the Exalt Esports. They're actually being aggressive on this one, because I've also kind of noticed on Honor of Kings, when you go aggressively, usually the other team will just move back, and usually the tempo is gonna be lost. But it just depends really on how they can hold it up much longer. But looking at it here now, seems like that was low health, but goes for a knockup right there from Tunski, and will have to move
Huh?
back as the rest of the team will try to fight back, trying to pick off at least one of them.
That's actually nearly a kill there. Seti in his top lane though versus Flyer. It's all sustain for sustain. But the name of the game for these two players in this clash lane. And talking about it, it's 2 kills as early as now for Salt Esports. However, with the rotations, I thought Enclave will be the one to actually rotate around faster. I mean, you look at the farm lane as well. it's gonna be Darfin that's bullying Nick in that earlier one.
Yes.
Because as you can see, he was forced out the back behind the turret just to find safety because of all the pokes that Darfin can do in this game.
Yes, exactly. And if Arlie is kind of left on that spot for a long time, that's gonna be hard for her to actually retaliate later on. It's actually hard to fight back if they keep that momentum really.
That's indeed true. And just like this, they have managed to actually stabilize lead to 2K. And in this game, it's
Ogren
gonna be
coming in.
Ogren, where we talked about how Ogren is the most pretty mobile hero. He's gonna pop
Yeah.
in the winner just for the meantime, just to try to
Ooh,
control
goes
this
to the
knockout. Hit
knockout.
down to one. Onsta is still alive for the meantime with all the connections that he has. And this is why Ogren is banned, everybody. 2-1.
Yes.
He survives everything with all the sustain.
Mhm. Yes, and now they're also catching up here because Exalt Esports are trying to get a farm, but you know, he still couldn't. Yadya tried to fight back for her team, but I think it would be not so much because you know, talking about it, they are actually going in for a safe play right here with Anka.
Yeah. And in this game, like, it's Salt Esports with an early rotation. I talked about how Ogren could be the one to find earlier rotations because of how mobile he is. However, this is another
Enough.
one for the side of Pensky. He's trying to find dash in and a dash out. However, it's just all sustain here for Gisabe.
Yes, exactly, and they're really just being aggressive here. Exalt Esports are doing this aggressively to try to stop the momentum of Unclub before it's gonna be too late later on. And really, the map control is insane right here. Going in for the lockup right there for the Zhangfei, tries to get the kill, and Dune will end up killing Ogren. Another point right there for Exalt Esports. Another point for Fuzi getting a kill on the Zhangfei. Dune tried to catch him off guard, but it will be too late as they actually go for a push here towards mid.
Arlie couldn't do anything in that clash with all the crowd control that was present for Salt Esports. He couldn't actually infiltrate at least. Darfin was pretty available during that clash. Nick couldn't do anything at all, and now it's another objective takedown for Salt Esports. After taking 2 kills, after getting 2 in the early one, they're gonna go for an early one, so might as well transition this and capitalize this in towards another takedown. Immobilize for the meantime, the knockback
Arlie.
there. Darfin with the damage is enough to actually kill down the side of Nick.
Yes, and Zolt Esports are already actually widening the gap here with a 5-1 score, and also them taking the Tyrant and I mean, both of these objectives really, it's a major play for Exalt Esports, and it leaves Enclave with a very limited power here to even try to fight back, and maybe they can actually just surrender their first tower in the bot side.
That's true. They're gonna force out the Ogren to actually back out right away. Even with all the sustain that he has, was not available. Dashes in, decides to find the double dash, and Tunsky gets 1 for the count. He tries to chase down for more. Meanwhile, though, it's Nick gonna go down for the count because of the Arfin. It's 2 down already. Gistabi's left alone. Even with the transformation, it's not enough. 3 down for the count. They're gonna chase out for more. Ogren is now available in the clash. However, it's just every damage being layered down to Enclave, and Salt Esports will
Oh
find
my
a
God.
complete 5-man wipeout. They're ace for Salt Esports.
See, this is what I'm talking about. Shiranui, a lot of magic power with that, and you add that with Lady Sun, and you even bring out the Tiadja in the table, really, and it really helps the team to really pop off and show what's the best they can do. And with that, we have seen the Shiranui being a monster right there, also Lady Sun overpowering, and that's what I'm talking about. They have been aggressive a lot, and it's just making it a hard time for Enclave to even fight back.
That is indeed true. Because even just like now, it's Kato nearly going down for the count. And he does go down for the count here, Moik. Because I feel like Enclave here, they're going for that sustain. They're trying to find those micro plays. However, they have Adun, they have Darfin here, and they have Floor with all the control. And look at the back lane is being controlled. Another knock-up, and the knockback will hit up on towards 1. Gustave is still alive for the meantime, though, but it's -3 already for Enclave. It's a double.
Oh no! Yeah, looking at it, even Yu Bang getting killed with a triple right there from Lady's Son. Again, they have been overpowered really. Enclave was just overpowered at this point, and it was just hard for them to do a comeback, even for Arlie, which was pushed back a while ago, and she couldn't keep up really, and it's just a hard time here for Enclave.
It's just that early game snowball for Salt Esports and Club couldn't do anything at all. They tried to find those sustained and cheesy movements around the map. However, it's all the salt with all the salt in the damage. It's the salt in the burn. It's salt in the pain because back lane is gonna be controlled. Blazy still in front. A double kill for Son of Club. They finally find a kill of their own. Yonsta will go down for the count because of Lady Sun being in the back. The damage is there. Clyro is alive. He's gonna go down. Double kill once again, Mike.
Wow. The see, I mean, Assault Esports, they have been snowballing even from the early start, and they have been keeping that up. Though they can commit some mistakes, but still, it's just not enough to for Enclave to go for a comeback later on, and it's just really a hard time for them to fight back. As Lady Sun is again very painful at this point.
That's true. This is now a 12K lead for Salt Esports. They now have the ability to actually capitalize the lead that they have. They could go for objectives or they could find another push down in order to find map control around this game because the only turrets left in this one is on the bottom lane.
Yes, exactly. And for Enclave to have a fighting chance, they have to wait for Exalt Esports to commit some mistakes and to really punish them for that before they can have a fighting chance to actually turn this one around. But looking at it now, seems like Exalt Esports will maybe get this win if they really just keep on that wave pressure and also getting more objectives, especially the Tyrant is already up for grabs.
Yeah. And it's 16-3. We've seen this transition from 2-0. They're trying to go in towards Floor here. However, he's going to be alive into the passive. And this time, it's Clyro and the rest of the gang to just back out. Respect out the movements from Salt Esports from trying to infiltrate and push down this bottom lane turret.
Yes, exactly. And I mean, you know, Enclave, what they're doing right now is just they're really staying in the base, getting more farm, and trying to punish people who are just committing mistakes. But I think again, it's just it's looking bad for Enclave because again they have been eliminated once again with Lady Sun. Go for the double kill right there, killing Zamfei and another Shiranui, getting that Princess Frost right there, another kill as well, and it's gonna be an ace and it's gonna be a win. Game number 1 for Exalt Esports.
Assault with that earlier move transitioned into a victory there. A very fast game pace for the side of Exalt. I mean, I have to respect as well Club here. They tried to pick out the Ogren and the Arlie, just try to find those micro mobility movements around the map with all the sustain from the side of the Ogre and the rest of the gang. However, it's just those early snowballs that was obtained from the side of Club. I mean, from the side of Exalt, man.
Yeah. Yes, I mean talking about it really, especially with Arlie, she just couldn't get the farm, and Lady Sun was just a monster at that point, and she just kept pushing forward and forward, and Arlie was just having a difficult time. It was a hard time, especially since Zhang Fei wasn't usually around most of the time because he was also helping with his team. But yeah, at the end, it was just really a bad sign for Unclub.
Lady Sun on this one, I have to say, he has been poking the Arlie in that farm lane very easily, and the way that they protect this Lady Sun was the way for them to actually deal out a lot of damage because they can't reach for the Lady Sun. When you look at the stats here for Mr. Darfin, he's 10-0-4 MVP.
Wow. Wow, looking at it, Darfin, I mean, you know, Lady Sun, again, every clash, she's always there and she's very protected. I mean, you compare that with Arlie, it was she was just having a hard time to deal damage because the rest of the team was also having a hard time dealing with the rest of Exalt Esports. Again, with Yonsta here as the Ogre, still I do respect the efforts that they have done, especially with eliminating some of the members from Exalt Esports. But still, looking at it, it was just again, as what you said, it was an early snowball that got the win right there for Exalt Esports.
That's true. Enclave was not expecting that at all because you have the Ogren. So when you are in the jungle, you're gonna think that you're safe. You have the connections, you have the sustain, you have everything. However, it's just the side of Exalt. That 3-man early rotation to snowball around. Look at the damage dealt here for the side of Mr. Darfin. It's 100k. And he
Wow.
didn't even die, Mike.
Yes, exactly. You know, I mean, you said it a while ago. She was really protected by the team because the team knows, Zalt Esports know that she can actually see that damage dealer for to face that off with Onclave, and she was just really showing it off what she can bring to the table. And we've already seen Lady Sun really on how people can play Lady Sun.
Yeah, that was game number one for Exalt and Enclave there, Mike. However, our teams need to readjust, need to re-strategize, and of course, we will be right back with you after a short break.
What is up, everyone? We are back again. I'm your caster for today. I'm Mike. Coming with me is Dion, and we have seen a while ago game number one winning for the side of Salt Esports once again. We're gonna be heading on to game number two later on, but a while ago it was just a devastating run, especially since that Salt Esports was winning. And Dion, what can you say about that?
I mean, as you've said, Mike, it's the early snowball play from Salt Esports from that game number one. However, in this game number two, they have the chance to readjust their draft here for Enclave. They have the chance to find those heroes that can actually, let's say, can be built up better in order to fight in that early game to prepare for that snowball. Find that defense for that snowball against Salt because just like that, in that early game, it was a three-man rotation from Salt. They right away went to the objectives, the early game objectives here of Enclave, and that was the starting point. It was an early 2-0. They managed to actually group around and capitalize that. They managed to get the gold, find the XP, shut down the Ogren in the early game. So might as well adjust this in the second game for Enclave, and let's see if they make it happen.
Yes, exactly. And also, what I've noticed from Salt Esports is they were just really able to identify which damage dealers, which those teams, which players rather, are gonna leave an impact and it's gonna be a difficult time for Salt Esports. And they have been doing their best to eliminate them since the beginning, and also giving a hard time for Zhang Fei to even help his Arlie. And again, that I think that's what
Yeah.
really brought the win for Salt Esports.
Yeah, because even with Zhang Fei transforming during a clash, it's the Zhang Fei popping in the ult, transforming right away to find that shield, to find that invincibility. However, the damage output and the control here from Exalt in that game number one was just too much to handle. Because even when you have everyone in front, the problem is the one at the back, and that's Lady Sun. That's Darfin. He was 10-0-4 in that game number one, Moik.
Yes, exactly. And she was really able to pop off because even in the early game, she was the one being aggressive, and no one from Unclove was able to stop her. With that, it was just really easy for Lady Sun to go for a snowball, and again, giving an easy win for Result Esports. But now here we are at the game number 2 with a draft pick, and we will see if Enclave can actually go here, take it back, and maybe head on to game number 3, or will Exalt Esports move on to the finals?
I'm kind of interested for Enclave whether they will keep one of those two cheese heroes that they had, which is the Arlie or the Ogren. Because for me, I actually think that the Ogren could actually run out or pop off in that game number one. However, he was just shut down that early. So I feel like if you give the Ogren one more chance here for Enclave and just find better support heroes to actually defend him down during finding his farms, I think that's his way of the game, to find those early rotations for an Ogren main.
Yes, exactly. And or maybe who knows, maybe Ogran is not just really the pick for them at this game because again he's been suffering a lot of nerfs, and still though a common pick, maybe Assault Esports was just able to find a way to just stop Ogren from even having a fighting chance in the late stages of the game. And now here we have here with All Glove starting the pick right there with Lung, which is a very remarkable farm laner.
Yeah, you have the Loom. However, the Arlie and Lady Sun is now open once again for Exalt. They have the chance to pick out the Arlie here for Exalt. And Club, though, and as you said, this is one of those very dominating heroes in the farm lane. You have the thing about Lung is you have the chance to actually go for damage, go for those heals, or go for that crowd control knockback. And that's a good thing when you're a Lung. You have a lot of choices, and might
Yeah.
as well. You have the heroes from Exalt. They are a component where they kind of snowball a lot. So when you have that infinite vastness from the Loom, this actually gives you the chance to either find an initiation, find a reposition, or find your way back out of a clash. So might as well pick in a Mosey as well to find that damage buildup. And for Nick on this one, I feel like Loom is a very good pick against Exalt.
Yes, and here with Assault Esports replying that pick with Arlie, they're now using the Arlie, and who knows? Maybe they can actually bring something, or maybe they can teach Uncle to how to use Arlie in this game, and also adding that with the Yuan as the jungler, which I've noticed from recent third events. Yuan, I think for me is an off meta pick to be picked for jungle because she's meant to be for mid, but she has bring a lot of success as the jungler, and I think now Zalt Esports are using that to their advantage. And also Leon Po could be their clash laner for later on, and Leon Po is also a remarkable clash laner.
Mhm.
And looking at Enclave as well, replying that with the Mozzie as the mid, which talking about Mozzie, a lot of damage, and also talking about CC as well. I mean, he can start that crowd control, and the rest of the team, especially with Lung, maybe later on taking charge, will actually deal a lot execution, and also help that with Musashi as the jungler, which is also a remarkable pick. Maybe to reply that with anyone.
Yeah. Actually, they ban out their own heroes here for side of
Yeah.
Enclave. Princess Bros and Menki is out. And talking about Leon Poe, as you said, this could be their clash lane. And you've also mentioned where this could also be your counter towards the Lone with all the crowd control that he can actually offer. And you're actually right, considering that during a clash, once the infinite vastness is now gone, it's now the sign of this Leon Poe to actually just pop in with a Tremor Smash, find those CCs, find those shields, be the front line, and once again defend down Garfin. Similar name of the game from game number one.
Yes. And here, ooh, Charlotte.
Charlotte.
Charlotte have And Lotus Charlotte. And talking about Charlotte, he has been buffed. Because the intentions of the buff is to give Charlotte more of a fighting chance with prolonging that passive. And with that, I think Charlotte they can with the buff especially. I mean, before the buff, Charlotte was still painful, and now even with the buff, could be, I mean, talking about Charlotte, he deals a lot of damage. You just have to maintain your passive in order to do that. And
Yeah.
with Salt Esports, I think they have figured that out. Who knows? Looking at the other team as well with Onklov sticking again with the Liu Bang as their clash later. I'm curious.
I really am curious. Let's see if Enclave can actually bounce back on this one, considering that Nick, he did not have his game in that game number one. He was 0-4, and Dolphin was 10-0-4. The difference between the farm lane there was evident for the both of them. And let's see if they can actually make adjustments, considering that this is now a Luong game that can actually fight out a lot with an Arlie. The thing I'm worried about is that Exalt with their composition here, Exalt has a lot of CC. We've seen them have those clashes where a lot of knockbacks and a lot of knockups was present, and that made Darfin available and possible. However, on this one, they're up against the Luong. However, the Arlie is now in the hands of Exalt.
Yes, and I think I have to address the elephant in the room. When you talk about Honor of Kings, usually the best strategy for Honor of Kings is to deliver a lot of crowd control. And as what you said, Zalt Esports, they are prepared to do that. And once you're just really hit with CC, it's just hard for you to fight back because the damage as well, it's snowballing, and Zalt Esports again, they can deliver a huge blow on that. But with Enclave right here, I'm wondering as well, since they have sustained damage for their mid laner, and the rest of the team. I mean, with Lung as well, who does a lot of damage. Yeah, who knows? Maybe we can see some fighting chance with Enclave. Oh, the first blood already coming in right there with the U1. Again, Zolt Esports are just pushing it right here, playing it aggressively, especially being supported by the Lianpo.
And we talked about this game number one. This was the issue, and back at it again, Darfin with this Arlie just using those umbrellas to actually just shiver around the side of Enclave, creating a lot of damage. But Moji with the Cannon Blast will equalize the HP of Darfin and Nick. Nick did heal out a lot now, so Darfin, okay.
Oh. Oh well, Darfin is left low on HP, but it's still they're still chill down here with Mozzie as their roam. Though long, I mean, in the late stages of the game, he just deals a lot of damage. But with Arlie, she just has to outscale Lung before Lung can even deal a lot of damage. And looking at it here again with the damage from their bit as well, still nothing's happening. More of a vanilla play. But looking at the top side right there with the Charlotte and Hanshin going in and already killing the Liu Bang. It's another point for Zolt Esports.
Liu Bang couldn't do anything at all against two of those heroes from Exalt, trying to rotate out as early as now in the Clash lane. And it's 2-0. We've seen them find those good two rotations in the game. Earlier in the jungle side here for Enclave. Next up is the Clash lane. So just like that, they managed to actually find the repositions and find more kills in this game, trying to push through the aggression that they are trying to control they are trying to find map control in this game. And once again, there's another jump in. Darfin will be there, but the Vastness will save, and this is what I was talking about. Once he pops it in with a Tremor Smash to go in against this Luong, Nick can actually have the chance to find the Vastness to save himself, but this can't be safe for the meantime as they are alive, stun locked out for the meantime. And no, he's left alone. Leon Podo will find all of those armor to make him safe and keep him safe for the rest of the time.
Yes, exactly. Looking at it now, Hanshin trying to find an opening right there. Goes for the dash, but will have to move back as the rest of the team are low on health right there, and they're pushing it in. Gets a kill on the Lianpo, and now again just moving back to maintain their advantage here because I mean, talking with Enclave, they are trying to slowly fight back, and with that really getting just a kill and then move back to secure that. To have a fighting chance later on, it stops the early snowball for Exalt Esports.
I like the adjustments being created by Enclave here, putting the Mosey down below just to ensure that Nick won't have that game where he can be bullied by Darfin a lot of the times. So having the Mosey around here with the Cannon Blast could be enough to poke around and deal out a lot of damage. But just like this, they're trying to find an engagement. It's gonna be Nick. For the meantime, it's gonna go down for the count with all the ult from Darfin. to be devoured by Nick. Even he doesn't have, oh, actually, he doesn't have the vastness, so that was the end of him. 1-3 in the 3-minute mark.
Yes. And already looking at it here now, Hansin could be going towards that mid, but will not be getting any kill right there. And you know, the rest of the team, once again from Club, they're playing it slow as of now. They're making sure they're actually being slow and sure at the same time. But still, Yuan very aggressive with the pushing with the rest of the team as well. Hanshin could be chasing the rest of the team, but will hold that later on as Lianpo is left low in HP. They have to leave that one member off the rails, as now Log will also go for the ultimate. Tries to go for an engagement, but seems like Exalt Esports are moving back.
I like the move. I like the movement here for Exalt. Realizing that the vastness was committed, might as well disengage right away, considering that they did pop in the tremor as well. So let's find those rotations slowly and surely, just like this. You're gonna take down Darfin's gonna take down one more member, and might as well give in to Tunski one more time, and the turret will belong towards your hands after delivering 2 kills towards your name.
Yes. Now, looking at it, since the bot has been pushed, 1/3 is down, it gives more of a map control here for the side of Exalt Esports once again. Though we've noticed in this game they're having a difficult time to actually go for a fast snowball, because I think Enclave was just able to spot that, and they were just able to stop that before it gets worse for them. And looking at it, they are very, very careful in this one not to be spotted by Exalt Esports and to maybe get a kill right there. But Yuan is also going in for the charge, goes for the knock-up right there. Kato is low on health as Zuyu right there, and the rest of the team from Exalt Esports are just pushing it here towards the mid lane.
Just slowly but surely creating map control is the name of the game for Exalt Esports every time around. They're gonna find Jisabi. He's gonna be alive for the meantime, though the umbrellas will not reach him. So might as well, for this Arlie Darfin, will just disengage. For the meantime, look at the back lane. It's just gonna be Jisabi just controlling around. Another turret destroyed in this clash lane. Might as well capture the second one in this middle side.
Yes. And I think Mozzie here trying to give aid to Lung, because Mozzie and Lung, they kind of go together as the roam and the farm. But still, I think what they're trying to do is to get Lung ahead. But already here, Zoyu getting killed by Charlotte, and that would be another point right there for the Exalt Esports.
Oh my
Goes for the
God.
clash right there, goes for a knock up, goes for another knock up, and the third one, Lianpo get a kill on the Musashi right there. Yuan also dealing the damage of her own as well, while Lung tries to fight back and gets a kill on that Yuan.
Tunski does go down for the count to the side of Nick as a counterpart. That was the punishment for overextending. However, the real issue here is the combination between this Lian Po and this Arlie. The crowd control. It's pretty evident now. That was 3 knockups that was holding down the members of N Club. Look at the top lane. It's gonna be back again. It's Darfin to just push around that easily. This is why you prioritize map control in the game of Honor of Kings, because just like this, they couldn't farm anymore for N Club, and now the gold lead just pursues to actually extend a lot more for Exalt.
Yes, and I've said it a while ago, crowd control is the key really here. And looking at it here, Exalt Esports just has that perfect kit to engage, especially in the later stages of the game. And looking at the map, seems like the map control really is in favor of Exalt Esports, as they are now trying to get this objective right on. And also with the Tyrant, Tyrant, and again the Overlord getting that for the side of Exalt Esports.
Yeah, they're gonna find a way to push in the tempo. Earlier, it was 6 minutes in that they pushed the inhibitor turret side here for the side of N Club. It's Arlie gonna go behind the turrets to find those damage outputs that he can deal towards the side of N Club. Exalt, they just try to push and capitalize the lead that they have. And now it's just Darfin just playing around everybody, finding those micro plays, and now the bottom lane is open.
Ooh. That's Lung here trying to get a damage, but still with the rest of the team trying to actually go for the charge as well. But Exalt are just overpowering it here right now, as Hanshin was able to kill down Musashi early as well, killing down Zuyu, and the rest of the team are just trying to push this back. But now Liu Bang gets an elimination right here, but still another shutdown right there from Arlie. Still, getting that kill really gives Unclov some fighting chance right here, especially with their Liu Bang trying to find openings here for the team and to actually have a fighting chance later on.
Enclave with that defense there was on point because if ever they couldn't defend it, mind you, they did take an objective, and the minions are spawning in. They're surging at every lane, and that could have been a potential chance for Exalt to find the end game towards this series. And 5-10 as early as now, but Enclave, they're fighting back. But another objective is now on the hands of Enclave as Exalt, realizing that they're all down for the count, might as well take the objective. And Yonsta and Enclave will be happy for that one.
Yes, Tyrant is already up for grabs right here, and they have taken that really with the Club and the rest of the Exalt Esports. Still, they have been leading, but it was kind of a slow push as of now. But looking at the map, still they have the map control. They can actually clear the jungle, the side of Unclub, and just really get it on their side.
Yeah, and now they're gonna go in. Mosey is left out of position. He's gonna go down for the count. They're gonna back lane. It's gonna be two-man knockout for the side here of Lore. They're gonna take down two. And Enclave lose two members. They're gonna push in at this top lane. They're not done though. For the meantime, Fleur is there. Clyro defending down very easily. And Exalt, they're gonna take two. Respect it down as Blazy did go for the counterpart.
Yes, Clyro actually leading the charge as well, since for now he's the key player for the side of Unclove to actually give the team a fighting chance. And now the Overlord and the Tyrant is already up for grabs as well. This could be an easy grab for Exalt Esports, or maybe Unclove can find a way to steal it away from them. But still, again, looking at it, they have Exalt Esports are just trying to really minimize the farm for Unclove Esports.
Yeah, Mike. And they did take an objective here for Enclave that's gonna stall around for a bit here for Exalt to not push down that easily because of the debuff that they have, or the buff that they have. And now Exalt, they're gonna go for those two objectives at the same time. Mind you, Mike, at the same time, Exalt is gonna do this.
And even in Honor of Kings, you have the Primal Bond, which if you take down one of the objectives, the Overlord or the Tyrant, if you take the other one, the Primal Bond is just gonna minimize your damage. But still, they're not afraid. They just gotta take that away from Unclub, and it just from there, I think the gap is starting to widen from the side of Exalt Esports as Arlie here going in straight for the push, going in aggressively at this point, and another turret down right there on the bot side from Charlotte, and Hanshin going straight into the push already the knock up right there. Lianpo going in for the charge as well with low HP remaining from Mozzie, and Lianpo getting that kill right there, starting that push. Hanshin goes for another kill, and the rest of the minions are just pushing it towards the base, and again Hanshin goes for the kill right there, but it was just too late as game number 2 again is gonna be for Exalt Esports.
We have our first grand finalist here, Moik. It's Exalt after finding that 2-0 against Enclave. This game number 2, they did make those 3 adjustments that we talked about. However, it was just far too late. The Luong was available with the damage, but all his members, all his teammates was already down with the movements created here for the side of Exalt. Look at Darfin, 4-1, Blazy 3-1. And when you compare it to Yonsta, he's 0-3, and just have it. He was the guy to go in that farm lane in order to find those pokes just for Nick to be alive in the lane. He's 0-4, and the match will end up as Exalt being the victor.
Yes, I've been talking about Exalt Esports with Fleur. I've noticed him really. Usually, most of the clashes are initiated by him, or he goes for the follow up. And usually the results are positive. They get a kill, or they take an objective, or they take farm away from Unclove. And with Lianpo as their support, it was just again with Fleur as well playing that amazing Lianpo. Still amazing progress for Exalt Esports.
Very amazing gameplay. And for the remaining 2 teams on the other semifinals match, whoever wins, you need to study Exalt with their heroes, because
a
gameplay like this, the snowball that easy. Find those objectives, find those skills, find those hero takedowns, and find that map control could be very fatal if ever you are facing these guys in the grand finals. And of course, Congratulations to Exalt for reaching it to the grand finals, and congratulations as well to N Club for reaching it this far in the tournament. Because Mike, I have to say, it's 64 teams that battle it all out. N Club
Yeah.
battle it until top four, and that's a good thing already. However, Exalt came out on top. They're our first grand finalists for that game. Game one and game two was pretty amazing.
Yes, exactly. And them moving to the grand finals, whoever, which team, that's gonna move up to the finals as the second grand finalist. They have, again, as what you said, study Exalt Esports, because if you look at the picks for Exalt Esports, the farm lane, especially with the Arlie and the Lady Sun, they have to prepare for that, and with the roaming from Exalt Esports as well.
Yeah, we still have another best of three series for another semifinals match later on. It's AXG Next Gen versus Eureka. Later on, we're still your casters, and we'll be right back after a short break. Welcome back, everybody. This is still us, your casters for today. But now it's a different game. It's a different series for us, Mike, because this time around, we're going to have AX Next Gen versus Eureka. And mind you, Mike, these two teams came from the Philippines as well.
Yes, and actually with Eureka, the name is kind of familiar, really. And with again, you find that against next gen, which is also kind of an exciting game for me, and to see and really and how they kind of play it against each other. Especially these teams are both from Philippines, and usually what I know from the Philippines is that they're kind of they have a unique type of gameplay, and
Mm-hmm.
they have a unique play style at that point, and it's just exciting to see on how these two teams are gonna play against each other.
Maybe you're saying these, Mike, because you're also a Filipino. I'm just kidding around, everybody. Okay, so for this game that we have, actually, we actually talked about whether which of these two teams will win. They need to study Exalt. However, for this game, we're gonna focus on this one. As you said, Eureka is a kind of familiar name. Actually, familiar name for me too. It feels like I've heard these two teams uh time and time ago. However, this time around they're gonna battle in Boom. And this game, Moik, it's a best of three. And mind you, that 64 teams they made it towards this semifinals. And in this game, Mike, we're gonna go to the drafting phase. And is that Beanie Aya?
I mean, yeah, look at it. Yeah, Bini Aya is kind of a very famous person in the Philippines. But again, with the drafting as of now, it's still starting. In Honor of Kings, we still have to mention that in Honor of Kings, crowd control is usually the key. But at the same time, when you snowball, you just have to keep that up so that the other team will not have an advantage. And I think it's next gen and Eureka are just trying to be first on which team are gonna be snowballing. And you're already looking at the bans here, already banning Shiranui from Eureka because my Shiranui is a very potential threat as well, and also from next gen banning the Yuan and the Zhangfei, which talking about these
Yeah.
picks, these are strong. These are strong picks, and we've seen them from the games a while ago, and already the Lung as well getting banned.
For me, actually, I feel like similar to that game number one between Exalt and Enclave, they did ban out the Loong right away, considering that Loong is one of those heroes who can actually give out a lot of. And we talked about how Loong is strong in the lane. You can either go for a damage, you can either go for that heals, and you can go for the crowd control as well. You have that vastness that can make you a reposition or find that initiation for your side, but and Mike, we talked about this day and day again. It's Ogren back in the
Oh, okay,
game
once
here for
again.
AXT.
Oh, I mean, Eureka is replying that with Dahlia and Arlie, which I've said a while ago. Dahlia is kind of a new pick because I mean a new addition because she has been suffering nerfs from the stun from her skills. It
Yeah.
was removed, and it's just the slow, and it's exciting to see on how they can play this new Dahlia, which now that Eureka has it, and pair that also with Musashi, and a next gen with replying that with the Ming as the roaming, and Lady Sun. A Lady Sun is once again a very common pick, and I think next gen is trying to get that value out of her.
Because I have to say, you don't have a Lu. They already have the Arlie. Might as well, with the meta that we have in the farm lane, might as well go for the Lady Sun right away. However, the problem here is the Dolia and this Musashi combination. Once they can layer up that easily later on during a clash,
Yeah,
they already have an Arlie that can go front to front, can go back band for band type of a farm lane hero. Can go like for side lane. The movements that the Arlie can
yeah,
deliver is already enough. The mobility
yeah.
is there and they already have the front line. Musashi can actually give out the damage given with the Dolia on his back. It's gonna be a problem. However, instead of AXG next gen, they're gonna counter it all up with a Lady Sun. And we've seen a Lady Sun that is well defended, and we've seen how it dominated. Let's see if AXG next gen can also replicate this type of scenario.
Yes, and talking about movement as well, Musashi can actually give that movement, from get that value out of his movement skills, especially from his second skill, from you just keep on moving and just dashing towards enemies who, whenever maybe, maybe some members from the next gen are trying to run away from them, then Musashi can just go catch up with him just by dashing, or even the ultimate if it is available. But for now, completing the bans with the Dharma and the Mayin, kind of a predicted, I mean, kind of a reasonable bans for them, because Dharma is a very durable, if you talk about being a Clash laner or
Yeah,
a
yeah.
roaming, Dharma is very a good pick for that. And also from the next gen banning, they're banning a lane, and I think that's I kind of forget the third one, but these are very familiar picks. These are usually common in the past tournaments we've seen them. And again, AXG next gen picking up the Princess Frost, because once again, Princess Frost can deal a lot of damage as well, and also Byron will help with the damage and the durability as well.
Because talking about it, panning out the Elaine and the Main here for the side of both teams is very good, considering that Elaine, if combined with the draft here of Eureka, they're all pretty mobile, as you've said. When you have the
Yeah.
Elaine on your side, Death by Sunset is already
Oh
present, the
yeah.
mobility is there already.
Exactly.
So banning it out creates an opening for them to not let him allow to be played in the game. Main, on the other hand, you have another initiator, might as well not let that hero play in the line of gorge, considering that it's also those initiating heroes that is pretty pesky in this game. So this is match one of our semifinals, game number two. This is Eureka versus Next Gen. We have Elipo, Harrow, Gem, Migs, Vayne, and for the side of Next Gen, we have Jare, Keria, Mikey Kun, Osas, and
Ooh.
Zaypi. Keria is actually playing here, Mike. What can
Oh
you
yes.
say about that?
I think that was Milky Kun. Kind of I don't know, kind of a nice name. It rings a bell. But talking about these AXG next gen, I think they've ended with the Clash laner with the Neza, which is also good in terms of mobility, from dodging a lot of skills. From just also from speaking about damage, the sustained damage really from Neza, it also brings that out. And already we're in the game right now, game number one. Again, this is from AXG next gen versus Eureka, and already into the fray. A lot of damage has been dealt with, just exchanging a lot of damage, but at the same time maintaining their farm as they head on towards the game.
And I have to say, Mike, the difference between having an Ogren in this game is that the Ogren cannot be shut down in this and as early as this, because from the previous years that we've seen or witnessed, it was the Ogren that was being shut down in that early game. But this time around, he is able to move around safely, find those buffs available for his side, and just like this, he's level 4 already, nearly and wanting to go and find a rotation in this bottom lane as the rest of Eureka is already grouping up, trying to find behind the brush. They're hiding from each other. Migs, the Doya is there, awaiting as well. Haru is available. It's a 4-man comp in this farm lane.
Yes. And talking about Ogren, really, I think he has a lot of freedom in this game, especially since he can he's I mean, aside from being the jungler, you can also move from the top side to the bot side just fast, especially with the path to the afterlife. Just really moving that up again, I mean, pushing towards through the wall really. And it's just easy for Ogren to deal a lot of damage, and then you combine that with the rest of your teammates. That's Lady Sun, that's Ming, Princess Frost, Neza. I think it's kind of I think Ogren can really deal a lot of damage from here, but you have to take into consideration that Eureka here, they're also prepared for that matchup
Yeah.
if ever things get worse.
That is indeed true, Mike. And the thing is, nobody has set up the tempo as early as now, and this
Yeah.
is the main difference between the first series that we've casted, because both
Yeah.
of these PH teams, they're respecting each other.
Yeah, yeah. I think that's what the game is interesting as well. Is that both of the teams are kind of respecting their tempo, their momentum, and just really
Boom.
taking that already even at first blood right there. Compare that with the games a while ago, it was pretty fast, but really shows that the respect they have for each other.
It's the Lady Sun getting that first blood on his name, being defended down by Keria. Imagine your name is Carrier in a game like that's pretty interesting here for the side of
Yeah.
AXG Next Gen, a very familiar name that we have in competitive scene. But it's 1-0. The net worth is not that high though for AXG Next Gen, even with the first blood on their name, because of the group ups that is being created by Eureka to actually group up a lot of more times here in the farm lane just to delay and find those pokes in order for Lady Sun to he did get the first blood, however, the poke here for Eureka is still present.
Yes, and I mean, talking about here, if I have that kind of name, I would feel a lot of pressure. I have to live up to that name. But seeing here, I think he can deliver up to that expectation from this team. And looking at it again, nothing's happening so far that's kind of impactful to the game yet. It's still 1-0 in favor of the AXG Next Gen. But for now, they're just looking for openings and just continuing with the farm.
That's indeed true. Not finding that tempo, just trying to build up all of those resources that they can actually get up. But now, it's the early objective. They're gonna try and find the Slay. Whoever gets their hands on the final blow will be the winner on this one. They try to find the engagement already in. Look at Haru on the back lane, tries to get down ontowards. Two gets knocked out for the meantime. Precious Cross will go down for the count. However, he's impaled and he's gonna go down for the count. It's two members. Carrier will be out of this clash. However, the heals are there for the side of Eureka. They're gonna take down one more. ZP's left alone. And now it's three members going down for the count. And the objective is now open for Eureka.
Now, looking at it, already the Tyrant is already in the side of the Eureka, and could be they're actually the start of their momentum as they push towards the later stages of the game. But still, as of now, nothing's happening. They still stuck to their momentum is to just get farm and just stay put as of now. If ever AXG Next Gen commits a mistake, then they will punish them for that. But as of now, they're just making sure that they apply the wave pressure at the same time they get objectives and the farm.
I have to say, this Dolia is working out quite a lot here for Eureka, considering that the
Yeah.
heal was enough to sustain down every member from Eureka to not go down against AXG Next Gen. Because mind you, they were all low on HP, and they managed to actually kill out a lot more members, which are three members on the side of AXG Next Gen, and they proceeded to go for an objective takedown despite having low HP, and that's all because of a Dolia present in your draft.
Yes, and looking at it really at that point, with Adolia still, even with the nerf, she still deals a lot of support to the team, and it just really shows that Eureka can deal with Adolia even with just a slight nerf from that. Oh, Ogren trying to come in, but Adolia and the rest of the team was just able to just back that up.
That was a pretty risky play there from Osas. Osas! Okay,
Osas.
AXG Next Gen, this top lane, and the Clash lane actually is a two-man comp already as they will take down Mikey Kun. Oh, it's not Milky Kun, it's Mikey Kun for AXG.
Oh.
So, Ogran will now find a rotation of his own after two members will rotate around in his Clash lane. Gem will be low on HP, being chased around, but the connection is still there. For the meantime, he's gonna go out with the teleportation, and he's gonna TP out that easy.
Yes, and Musashi on the top side was kind of stuck there, and Ogran will just claim that kill easily as they push.
Yes, indeed, Mr. Moiki. And in this game, it's 2-4. However, I feel like even with the score being having a difference on each other, the tempo of the game is the main difference here. Because Eureka, they're pushing in, and they are pretty reliant on this Dolia. So for AXG Next Gen, I feel like if we want to find a kill, let's find Mig's Dolia first, because it's gonna be a problem if the heroes are present.
Yeah, exactly, and they have to put a stop on that Dolia. And now already Lady Sun is already destroying the tower as well from the side of Eureka. But looking at here, they're still maintaining that momentum. Just trying to stop if ever Eureka will go aggressively, because as what we've noticed from the side of Eureka, they have more of the map control now, especially concentrated at the bot side, while at the top side that's gonna be for AXG Next Gen. But again, what you said a while ago, they have to take down Migs before they can even put a stop to the tempo of the Eureka.
Yes, sir. So, 7 minutes in, it's still 2-4. They stole a lot here for each other. But the thing is, in this game week, is that you have Kyria that is defending down. So I have to talk about it as well. You have the Dolia for Eureka, and you have Kyria as well that's defending down. You have Princess Cross with the damage output, a lot of AoEs here for AXG Next Gen. What they need to find is that good initiation, and this is what I was talking about. Osas already in front. They're gonna try to find a wraparound play around the members of Eureka, and now Osas still in front, gets knocked up by the Bastards for the meantime. No, he's gonna be alive in peril for the meantime as well, but the sustain is still alive. It's gonna make him alive. Osas still connecting down towards one member. Eureka is still there. The heals for the side of the Soya is still alive. Sustain for sustain is the name of the game here for the side of Eureka and AXG next gen. They're pushing in the tempo. They're gonna take down one more. Look at the back lane. It's gonna be Mellow Wolf and the rest of the gang for Eureka to find more kills, assassinate more. One by one, they're gonna take this down. Osas slowly, he gets caught, gets fucked up, and he's gonna go down for the count. It's 3-for-1 exchange, and I feel like Eureka had the advantage in that one.
Yes, now I think Eureka has that tempo already up in their hands, and they just have to keep that up. Because as what I've noticed, AXG Next Gen, they've kind of committed a lot of mistakes, and Eureka was just able to capitalize on that and was just able to be aggressive. And now looking at it, Princess Frost and Naza trying to get it back, the red buff, and they succeeded indeed. But you also kind of watch Karia's Ming, which Ming is also a great support. But looking at it now, Dolia is actually dominating on this one, as again they have taken the Tyra.
Yeah, man, it's 3-8 in this one, and the good thing about having a Dolia on your side, as we talk again, is because of the heals that he can actually provide. And the thing is, Eureka, as if you notice, they always fight where a river is near. Even without a whirlpool from this Dolia, they fight with their own river, and that's a good thing because you can't catch Migs with this Dolia that easy because of fighting in that river. And in terms of objective takedowns, it's in the river, so Eureka has the advantage in that one.
Exactly. And I think it just proves a point that even with the recent nerf from Dolia is still playable and they can still get a value out of her. But looking with Ogren, it's still a common pick for Ogren, and we have to see if he still has a value at this point. But looking at it now, Ogren left with very low HP. The rest of Eureka goes for the push, and Lady Zen puts a stop on the Ogren, getting that kill, while the rest of AXG Next Gen move back to safety as they have to surrender their objectives towards Eureka.
You have to respect this down. Considering with the lead and the positioning and map control that Eureka has, AXG Next Gen can't find or contribute towards a clash as of the moment. So just like this, they're gonna take one objective after another, and on the other side as well, they're gonna take this down. But can he though is a question for Haru, as he will actually, despite having the winner on the commit there.
Yeah, and if you take a look at it, what I've noticed from AXG Next Gen is if they lose one or two members from a clash, they move back and they really respect Eureka from that. But if the problem comes when they keep that up, it's just gonna be hard time for them in the late game, because if you keep on surrendering, not looking for possible openings, it's just gonna be hard in the late stages of the game to catch up and to actually have a fighting chance against Eureka.
That is indeed true, Moik. 3-9, and now it's Eureka forcing in the tempo, trying to find a tier 2 pushdown, as now the Shadow Vanguards will join as the minions will spawn out. And this is a very good thing for Eureka, considering that they are trying to capitalize the lead that they have with a push on their hands. Now the question is, AXG Next Gen, do they have what it takes to defend this down with everything in front of them?
Yes, and since they're pushing mid, you have to also be aware that on the bot side, the Shadow Vanguard is also charging, and maybe another clash will happen here at the bot side, or maybe it's just gonna happen towards the mid here as the AXG Next Gen are trying to put a stop to it.
Now, push down. Tier 2 turrets already destroyed. One more Vanguard down below. Eureka does have a chance to find an infiltration, a penetration towards the inhibitor turret defense for AXG Next Gen. And for AXG, they need to depend down on the turrets whether they want to defend this down. Migs already in front here. AXG Next Gen, the turret is now half an HP. A very good entrance there for the side of Eureka. However, Ogren is still alive, Osas is still alive. They're gonna find a tier 3, another one is middle side, and they're gonna very successfully do it. That style, disengage right away, realizing that they do not have HP.
Aiki-kun goes in for the charge, but Osas here will also go for the follow-up, but they fail as Eureka has just sensed that possible threat and just decided to move back.
And that's a very good thing. Although they are on the lead here with 7k gold lead on the hands of Eureka, AXG Next Gen. Yeah, I mean Eureka respects it down considering that they were low on HP. Even with the lead on their hands, they still had the possibility or the chance to lose out with a fight because of the disadvantage in terms of HP with one another. And in terms of map control, it's their side of the map. So we've already took down 2 turrets on our name, all the tier 3 inhibitor turrets. Only one left here for the side of EXE Next Gen. Let's respect this down and find a group up and let's fight again for Eureka.
Yes, and I do have to respect again their style as well, that they have to move back and just really regroup and to find an opening later on, because I think it still gives them a fighting chance to actually fight back later on. But still, the chances are kind of slim, since looking at the map right now, it's just controlled for the side of Eureka, as again as Overlord and Tyrant are about to spawn later on. Again, the map is just in their side.
Yeah, and now 2 objectives will spawn out. Just a 5 seconds difference between the both of them. But now AXC Next Gen, they say we need to find this objective. We need to find movements around the map, or we will lose this game. And now Ogre now in front on this bottom lane, and they will try to pursue for more. Still in front, finding that connection. Question now is, can they find the final blow? And yes, they do so successfully. Eureka, on the other hand, they need to regroup and find the end towards this game.
Yes, and though from Eureka is they tried to get both the Overlord and the Tyrant a while ago, but seeing it was a risky move, so they have to give the Tyrant for the side of XG Next Gen. But looking at it here now, there's a clash that's happening. Ogen gets killed on the ladies' end right here. Liu Bang gets a kill as well, while the rest of the team moves back, and now Lady Sun gets a shutdown and still goes for the push. What's up the double? Could be the triple. Gets the Musashi right there for the triple kill, and they're chasing down Biggs as Adolia is running away, running from her life, and now the rest of the team from Next Gen could just actually have the fighting chance later on.
7-10, and they are fighting back. This is the name of the game. Just await, and this is the call for AXG Next Gen. Let's await for the next objective and fight at the right time, and that was the right time. Even with all the mobility that they had for Eureka, it wasn't enough to actually defend this down as AXG. They are now the ones knocking down at the doors here for the side of Eureka.
I noticed a while ago, Lady Sun was not I didn't even know that. I even forgot that Lady Sun was a part of their team until now, which it really just shows that playing carefully led to Lady Sun actually getting more of the items and just go straight into the engagement when it was needed, when she was needed, and the rest of the team from AXG Next Gen was just able to follow up and just protect her at all costs, and it just really gives them that fighting chance.
Yeah, and this is what we talked about, where we don't have a Lulu in the game. Might as well find the Lady Sun. But for the meantime, he's gonna be left alone. A knockup will hit up on towards 1, but he's still alive with all the sustain that he has here. AXC Next Gen, they're gonna respect it down, considering that it was Mikey Kun that got caught. Luckily, it was Mikey Kun. If it was someone else for the side of AXC Next Gen, that could have been a problem here. And Eureka will not find a successful blow.
And yes, while Neza was distracting them, AXG Next Gen, they were able to get a kill on Metal Wolf as early, and again Lady Sun gets another kill as they push towards mid. And again, as what we've been noticing a while ago, they have been doing a lot of shadow work for AXG Next Gen, and the results are showing here as they are able to just be aggressive right here as they push towards mid. And now Lady Sun gets to destroy that third turret as they push towards the base, and Ogren was just able to go for the initiate as well. Dolia right here trying to stay alive, trying to keep her team alive, as well as now that the mid side has been open for the side of Eureka.
This is now a problem for Eureka. We've seen that AXC Next Gen, they were the ones at the disadvantage. However, they weren't able to push through the issue here for the side of AXG. And now Eureka, they're the ones on the defenses, because AXC Next Gen, as you said, Mikey, Zapi now has the damage that he needs for clashes as a Lady Sun.
Yes, and I think being playing safe and sure a while ago, it really paid off for AXG Next Gen. They were just really patient, and I think a mistake already comes to the side of Eureka is because they were not able to to check on her, to check on Lady Sun,
That's
especially
true. That's
Lady Sun.
true.
Yeah, and that led to just surprise them because Lady Sun was dealing a lot of damage and already getting the triple. Even I was already surprised as well.
Yeah. And now this is the final objective that could possibly end the game or seal the game. JP, he's out of position, nearly caught there. However, there's two members that is guarding him down, Osas and the rest of the gang. Eureka still in front here, trying to find the objective. And yes, they do, on towards the name of Meta Wolf Arlie. And then this one is an objective takedown that is successful. So might as well go towards this time in the other side. But no, can they find the positioning here? And Eureka, they try to go in.
Oh, Jare goes in, but again, with low HP remaining, Hera will go in as well for the damage. Haru goes for the knock-up right there, but the rest of AXG Next Gen are just chasing them down as they have now the upper hand as Arnie gets a kill on the Neza right there, but they have to move back because they're pushing towards the middle here as Osas is preparing for their charge. And I must say that Eureka is again very clever with finding openings in this one as now Haru goes for the knock-up right there. Will Ogren die? But he won't, but the third turret will go down as now Keria was also defeated by Arlie right here, and the rest of Eureka goes in straight for the push as Ogren is trying to defend the base. Will it be too late as AP goes for the damage right here? A lot of damage, but still he has to watch for the Nexus as Osas is guarding that, but that would be too late as game number 1 comes to close with the side of Eureka.
AXG Next Gen bit more than what they could chew, and that was the end because they tried to find a defense towards their Lady Sun. However, it was Mikey Kun and the Princess Frost that was left alone, and that was the death. And I feel like that was the key for them to find the end game towards that game. It's now 1-0 in favor of Eureka. Nearly a comeback game there for Next Gen as Lady Sun was now capable to find that damage output, Moiki. However, Eureka bounced back and found a game-ending clash.
Yes, and looking at these teams, 1 point for the side of AXG Next Gen right here. Looking at the scoreboard, if you kind of take a look at it, Lady Zen from the side of Eureka is able to perform that really a lot of damage. Though, what I've noticed from the team is that they're more on the teamwork side. They've Haru with a knock-up, with Liu Bang as well, and Dolia, especially Dolia, is very supporting the whole team. And though Lady Sun was able to get a lot of kills, still it ended up on the side, and they still won.
Yeah, and that was the game that we have because, as you said, even with Dolia being nerfed a lot of times, it's still playable. It's still on par in terms of competitive matchmaking. And just like this, MVP for the game will be El Piso from Eureka. And I have to say, it's the Arlie that had a rough time in the mid game, considering that he did get caught a lot of times. But in that final clashes, in that final moments, in that game number 1, he was on point in terms of finding those good positionings. And it was Eureka with a bounce back on that game number 1. So in terms of readjustments, what do you think could they do for game number 2, Mr. Moiki?
Yeah, I think Eureka winning this, you still have to take a look at AXG Next Gen and how they reacted to the whole game. Though Eureka was pushing in with their with their tempo, with their momentum, AXG Next Gen, they are heavy on their patient side. And moving on to game number 2, though Eureka have the chance to actually move to the finals, still AXG, they have to be aware that AXG Next Gen is kind of a formidable opponent to fight because they if they are pushed against the corner, they're just gonna be patient and just do a lot of shadow work, and in the late stages of the game maybe pop off again with their farm lane later on.
That is indeed true, Mr. Markey. And let's see if they will do that in game number 2. As for us, we'll have a short break and we will be right back at you.
What is up, everyone? We are back again. We are your casters. We are Mike, and again, is with me is Dion. And we've seen the two teams a while ago: AXG Next Gen versus Eureka, with Eureka winning the first game. And as we move later on, Dion, what are your thoughts?
I mean, if you win game number one, that's your tempo already for the series,
Mm-hmm.
Moik. Because during competitive scene, having that game number one applies pressure towards your enemies. And when you are on top of it, you have that confidence to push through for that game number two, similar to Exalt Esports. So in our bracket that we had Enclave versus Exalt earlier, and it was Exalt that came out on top. And now we have on our next series, under semifinals, AXG versus Eureka. Winner will go to the grand finals, and Eureka does have one more shot at it. So just one more win, Mr. Moigi, and they are facing Exalt in the grand finals.
Yes, exactly. As what you said, winning game number one already applies pressure to the enemy team. But if you the during the game really of game number one between these teams, oh, they were kind of snowballing. Eureka was snowballing. AXG Next Gen, they were also calm. They were very calm. And if we apply that kind of a thing to this game, to these teams, AXG Next Gen, maybe they can actually grab a win here if they remain calm and be very patient and just wait for Eureka to make mistakes. But you also have to take into consideration that Eureka could be aware, and thus they could actually make some less mistakes.
That is indeed true. AXG Next Gen surprisingly banning their own Ogren. Thoughts about this, Mike?
I think Ogren, maybe they have realized that maybe one of the mistakes was also using Ogren, because I think if you talk about it, Ogren was doing a lot of suffering a lot of nerves. But now that you bring it back, Ogren, you know playing as Ogren, maybe they have realized that banning Ogren was just really the best way to make sure that both teams will lose Ogren opportunity to play as Ogren. But again, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Boomfest tournament. We are casters once again, and I think we have lost Dion, but he'll be back. But for now, we will actually predict on the pickings here for both of these teams, with the Next Gen and the Eureka, with them banning Yuan and Ogren. Which if you talk about Yuan, Yuan is a lot of deals a lot of damage, and being the mid right there, it just adds maybe a lot of threat if Eureka were to get their hands on that. So they just had to ban that as well, and they're picking Dun as well. Could be for the jungler. It's still not final, but now ZP here goes for the Orly and the Lady Zen for Ajare. Also looking here for Eureka, that's Migs once again with the Dolia. Kind of a lost opportunity for a Next Gen to ban the Dolia, because who knows? I mean, if you've seen Eureka play Dolia and they won, since Dolia was an important part of the team, they have to eliminate her just that instant. But see, I think they're giving a chance for Eureka to give Dolia another try, and now pair that up with Loom, which Lung is also a very remarkable player in terms of the farm lane, and also that's Changguan right there. For the mid, could be a good pick as well. But they're banning once again for the Dharma on the side of Eureka, because Dharma is a very good. Dharma is a very good player, as what I've said a while ago. Sustain really works on him, and also Mayin, which is a mobile jungler. And also, you have to take into consideration from the Next Gen panic once again, Menki, which is could be a very potential threat right here, since he's been buffed. And also Kaiser. Okay, Kaiser, also a good ban, because as a jungler, he could be a fighter build. He could be built like that.
Yeah,
And especially when he's on his ultimate, he's just a dangerous threat.
that is indeed true, Mr. Moiki. So, follow up towards the draft here. And okay, the Lu. I mean, it's every game. It's either having a Loong or an Arlie in this one, or it's not. If you don't have a Loong, if you don't have an Arlie, it's gonna be Lady Sun. But for the last pick here for AXG Next Gen, it's gonna be a Mosey. And I feel like this is one of those games where you're gonna add in the Mosey towards the side of this Arlie just to find those early game pokes, just to find those early game damages, just to ensure that this Arlie will dominate in that farm lane against, especially against Luong. And what are your thoughts about the last pick for Eureka here, Moiki?
For the last pick for Eureka with Fuzi, Fuzi is a good fighter. As I've noticed him recently, especially starting from the master elo up to the I mean at the top ranks. And I think Eureka here up getting that Fuzi could be to know to bring something new to the table, because uh, it's sometimes that I notice Fuzi getting picked in pro scene, but also in that AXG next gen, they actually settled on the Sunbin. And if I take a look at it, Sunbin and Lady Zen, they're both damage dealers that
That's
deal
true.
sustained damage throughout the battlefield. And if you combine that, it's kind of a dangerous thing for Eureka to deal with if they if they actually combine Lady Zen and Sunbin and the rest of the team applying damage as well.
Yeah, and for next gen, Mr. Moiki, they need to win this, especially this match, because it's already 1-0 in favor of Eureka. One more win for Eureka, and they will advance towards the grand finals against Exalt. And however, as we talked about in the pregame, the pressure is now on here for Seta Next Gen because one more win is the end of the road for them. They have made it to top four. Let's see if they can find a push through, can find a reverse sweep as we begin in the Heroes Forge.
Yes, yes. As we have now started this game, again, I really just can't move on from the fact that they still allowed Migs to get Adolia from there, because from game number one, Adolia was a very annoying hero to deal with for AXG next gen. But again, they have allowed Eureka to get Adolia for the team, and I think it's just gonna be a lot of pressure later on if done right. And looking at the picks, I mean the movement as of now, that's still fine and nothing's happening. It's still like a vanilla gameplay, but now
That's
with
true.
Loong as the new pick for the farm lane, could be a threat later on.
That is indeed true. And having said that, Eureka plays in a sense where they will fight you in that mid-game scenario. This can be a good thing for a Loon, considering that you will still need all of those time to acquire all those resources that you have just to find those damage items, just to find those defensive as well. And you're up against an Arlie, so might as well get the build up and towards the resources that you can acquire and battle in the mid game for Eureka.
Yes, exactly. And if you take a look at it, nothing's happening. Just a lot of damage exchange from these heroes, especially from the bot side, from the farm lane, as they try to get a wave pressure at the same time get the farms. But again, a while ago, I talked about Sunbin and the damage that she can apply. It's kind of getting negated by the fact that Dolia can just heal Loom right away.
True.
And I think looking at it, they could actually deal a bit of a disadvantage later on.
That is indeed true, Mr. Moiki. But in this game between AXG and XGen, based on that game number one, Eureka battles in the mid game, AXG, they stall around, await for their timings as well, because even when they were at disadvantage, AXG and XGen, they managed to actually capitalize their own ways of creating some gold for ZP. Because last game we were like, okay, where did Lady Sun get all of those resources? And it was because he was left and turned on a blind eye, so he could have farmed every resource that he can get, and it was worth it. However, at the end, it wasn't worth it because Eureka grabbed the win. But in senses like that, where if you can find those farms despite the challenges that you were facing and despite all of the backlogs that they had, considering that the lead was on the side of Eureka, XG Next Gen, they managed to find ways to find those resources for their cores.
Yes, exactly. And talking about here, another damage transfer for both of these sides, and still nothing's happening. It's sort of the same as like the game one, because they're kind of respecting each other. But if you look at the map right here, they could be planning a gank later on with Dun. Very prepared that now that he's in the bot side, they're just waiting for that, or maybe they just go for an invasion later on with the red buff.
Yeah, and now this is the entry. Migs got caught up. He will just go back out with the umbrella right away.
Oh,
And look at
Shangguan.
he's left alone. He's gonna find the heels out towards the side, but he gets frozen down. He's gonna go down for
Oh,
the
first
count. And
blood.
El Pizzo couldn't do anything at all with that control. AXE next gen, and it was Dune that chained in towards that clash. That was a four-man rotation from the clash lane on towards the farm lane. They're gonna capitalize this and push down the turret, enabling them or disabling the side of Metal Wolf to find those resources.
Yes, exactly, Mr. Leon. And they've applied that already applied wave pressure, already destroying the first turret and even getting the Tyrant. It's another point right here for AXG next gen. And as I've said a while ago, could be a pressure, but they're very very patient with that, and they're just playing it safely.
No.
But another clash right here, also getting the damage, receiving all the damage from Metal Wolf right there, and he was just killed by Lung on the side of Eureka. Eureka was able to respond very brilliantly, and looking at it now, they're applying a lot of push. Another damage, Shangguan getting the kill with Lady Zan deep into the turret, and now just was able to move back safely.
He made his own highlight there, Mr.
Wow.
Moiki. And Eureka, after losing a turret in his bottom lane, might as well capitalize and find 2 kills of our own in this middle side. One goes down to the side of Metal Wolf, and that's a very good thing because you've already disabled Metal Wolf to get those resources by taking down a turret in this bottom lane. And look at Dune. He's trying to find a way to disregard or to disable them from pushing the turret, but that won't be enough because it's Long that's going to be pushing down. They're going to get the resources, they're going to get the turret back, and AXE next gen, the lead was on their hands. Can they find another movement to capitalize what they have in the early game?
Yes, exactly. A while ago, Dune was just unfortunate because when he arrived, Anshin was already cleaning the entire area of that jungle, and it was just hard for him to actually find a way. But looking at it now, Osa's getting the damage, and Shangguan ending his spree right there as El Piso is getting chased right down, and Mikey Kun going in for a lot of damage as well as Liu Bang charges in. Loon goes for the rescue, and the rest of the team, Biggs, goes for the rescue as well. But Liu Bang wasn't able to take Shangguan down, and the rest of Eureka were left with no choice but to move back.
And that's a 1-for-1 exchange. You take down the Dune, and as the counterpart, you take down El Piso as well. That was nearly an escape for El Piso, as Luong did go for that knockback on this one. On this time around, they're gonna find Haru on towards the back lane. It's gonna be Zapey that will get caught for the meantime, but he will just dash out eventually, and he's gonna be left alone. Members of the side of AXG next gen is gonna be chased around for the meantime. Mikey Kun still in front, still alive. Haru will live out through every hell that he has went through, and Eureka stands strong. AXG next gen not successful with that takedown.
Yes, Mikey Kun getting also the damage from here, but the rest of XG Next Gen are pushing straight into the fray as Dune already takes down Dolia, and the rest of the team will start to take from there. Just punish them, if they make mistakes, they will really punish them. And with that, they're just really dominating here and applying a lot of wave pressure. While if you take a look at the map, Hanshin is also very careful to even try an invasion and just make sure that no one is there before he commits that.
This is a very good thing for the side here of Eureka because you've left your gem to be alone for a lot of times. They've pushed out a lot of times here in this farm lane. However, the clash lane was open for Gem here. So if ever they try to find a clash or an objective where they can fight in a 5v5 scenario, that could be a good thing here for the side of Eureka. As now, they'll try to chase down for the side of AXG Next Gen in the bottom lane, and they will try to go down for more. Jari will get caught up, knocked out for the meantime, gets knocked out on towards the left side. He goes down for the count. 2 members for the side of AXG Next Gen. He's gonna go down for the count. They can chase down for more. And now it's Mikey Kun trying to find a chase down. For the meantime, it's Gem gets caught up by the knockout for the side of Osas with the chains in. Still alive for the meantime, but no, Haru finds another escape. Can he do it once again? No, Gem will go down. I mean, it wasn't Haru, it was Gem. And these members from Eureka, Mike, they live out through everything. But however, this time around, he couldn't. But the time they stalled was enough time to leave for Metal Wolf to farm very safely.
Yes, this is what I was talking about a while ago, that they are very patient. And even though with the pressure from being defeated at game number 1, still they remain strong to even fight in game number 2. And here they are actually being aggressive as El Piso was taken down at the side of Eureka. Jari goes in with low HP, but now Haru will go for the knock-up. But will he make it? No, he will not. Metal Wolf, however, they are left with low HP, meaning the damage dealers here are low, so they have no chance to fight back. Though they are taking the Tyrant, and also of AXG Next Gen, they are getting the Overlord.
They're trying to find a way to go back, but they're gonna port out to realize that members for the side of Eureka, they're gonna respond in this top side. So might as well respect this down, and they will push the bottom lane for Eureka. Great response here, but now the Vanguards are attacking, and this will be coming out from the side of AXC Next Gen.
Yeah, looking at it, it's a hard position for Eureka because they have to deal with the Vanguards. They also have to deal with Next Gen's aggressiveness. You know, it's a while ago they were very careful and they kept respecting Eureka a lot, but now the tables have started to turn, and it's just really on the favor of Next Gen pushing right here, as now the Eureka is left with no choice but to really move back and play it safely.
If they can just force out the infinite vastness here from Metal Wolf, then that could be their time to flash out. They do have Dune that can chain in that easily. Top lane will be the next target. Metal Wolf is now in this area. Haru will get caught up by the vicinity for the side here of AXC Next Gen being chased around. Chains in, Osas will not find anyone. That was a clean engage and a disengage for the side of Eureka and AXC Next Gen.
As well, I think I've noticed about Haru is that he's very quick on if ever another team will actually go for the chase. He's also quick to escape. And with that, with Gem right here as Fuzi distracting the teammates, they were able to start getting this Tyrant. And also, since the Overlord is also up for grabs, we could actually see some potential fight later on. But now Next Gen is starting to get it. You know, if you take a look at it, Eureka with Shangguan and Dolia here trying their best to hold it out, while Lu and Hanshin are at the back just waiting for any potential openings, you know, just waiting for a chance to fight.
That is indeed true, and now this will be their infiltration towards the jungle area of AFC Next Gen, as they will try to find a push, find the locations, because the Overlord is the up and ready to go. And the Eureka, they need to capitalize this, they need to find this if ever they have the chance to do so, because this is their chance, this is their way to go in and find the endgame scenario. El Piso still in front, Osas low in HP, they're nearly caught up. Look at the back lane, it's Mix healing down El Piso, he's still alive though. With all the heals for the side of this Goya, Mikey Kun will be left alone when in the meantime gets caught up by Kuya Moharu, and everyone else for the side of Eureka, they're disengaging, respecting down. Infinite Fast is already committed as well. No one dies for the side of Eureka, and that's a good thing. Even though you're gonna lose here another objective, but the thing is, no one died and you have the ability to defend once more.
Yes. Though no one died from that, it was still a win.
Oh no!
Oh, it's a steal! It's a steal! Oh my god! Eureka is trying their best, and it can be seen here, Shangguan getting a kill on that Sunpin. And you know, as what I've said a while ago, it could have still been a win for Next Gen because they have the power to take the Overlord. But in a surprising turn, Eureka was able to steal that away from them with Hanshin and with Haru playing as Hanshin. Very impressive theft right there, and they were just though he died, it was still a win since the Vanguard are starting to push in the side of Eureka.
And the best part about Mr. Moiki is that they're gonna push in with the Vanguards, and look who's back. It's Mr. Haru. It's right on time where they can capitalize map control now. At 6-7, the gold lead is still in towards the hands of Eureka here, but Mr. Moiki, it's gonna be AXC Next Gen. They needed that objective. They needed to find that one. However, Eureka, with the theft from Haru, was enough to seal the deal.
Yeah, and you know, since they've won, Eureka, they were kind of losing a while ago. I think getting that Overlord Vanguard could be maybe one of the key things that we will see later on that will lead them to their victory. But as of now, the pressure is on for the side of Eureka as they push towards the mid here, getting a lot of damage, and Lu will destroy the turret as they push towards. But now Sunbeam will get a kill on the Changguan. Dune will respond, hooking on that, and goes for the chase, goes for the knock-up, but Arlie will finish Dolia off as the rest of AXG Next Gen will push straight into the mid as well. And you know, if you look at it as well, Fuzi's kind of applying some wave pressure on the bot side. Because, you know, I've noticed from Fuzi is that he keeps on go for side pushes. And, you know, looking at it, Arlie is already finishing the job as well with taking the first and the second turret down as they head on to the third. And Fuzi here, as well as Hanshin, will also reply that by taking the top and the bot side turret. You know, it's still pending on whoever will finish the turret off. But looking at it now, the mid side for the Eureka's turret is already down. Hanshin getting chased here, right there, but will have to move back.
Haru just finding a way to grab that attention in order for AXG Next Gen to not find that endgame scenario. But Haru, he's now grouped up, he's wrapped around.
Oh
The
no.
opportunity now for the side of AXG Next Gen. He's gonna get
Ooh,
caught up to the back lane. It's gonna be Gem. He's controlling down, knocks
them.
up on towards two. Arlie goes down for the
Ooh,
count.
shut
And
down.
he's trying to find out for more. Another knock up, but look at the back lane. It's gonna be Luong just
Ooh.
layering the damage here for the side of Eureka. AXG
Osas.
Next Gen, they're gonna be the ones
Osas.
fastest for the as well. He's gonna charge up, hits up on towards the side of
Ooh,
Osas. Triple kill for
Gem.
Jam. And the only man left. Nope, it's an ace, man. Mind you, an ace.
Oh
AXG
my
Next
God.
Gen, they could have won that game, but Eureka, they strike back, and this time around, this could be the game-ending clash for Eureka.
Yes, if you take a look, Gem again doing all the shadow work a while ago, kept on pushing from the sides, and the rest of AXG Next Gen, they were just able to ignore. But at the end of it all, Gem was just able to overpower them, and that's gonna be a win. And Eureka will move to the grand finals.
Eureka with the movements. AXG Next Gen, they were at the inhibitor side of AXG Next Gen, they were at the inhibitor side of Eureka. And mind you, Gem, as you said, was just shadowing around the map, trying to find those side lane pushes. But I have to say, Haru has to be the MVP during that clash as well.
Yes,
He was the
exactly.
one that dragged down 2 members into 5 members encircling him. But Gem was there to find that knock up, to find that initiation, and Lung was able to layer all that damage, delivering that win for Eureka in a 2-0.
You know what I like about these two teams is that they were really able to just respect each other. And if you look at the scoreboard, really, they have they may not have gathered a lot of kills, but if you take a look at it, they're mainly focused on the teamwork. If you take a look at it, even with the assists from Dolia, still very remarkable. But
Yeah.
also here with Zapi as Arlie, still being able to deal a lot of damage and to get kills. But overall, it was Gem really showing up when they needed him the most, because Eureka was at a losing point. But when Gem decided to show up, it was already game over for Next Gen because they just couldn't stop him.
I have to say also, Mike, Eureka here with Haru saved the game 2 times.
Yeah,
First was when he found that theft on that
yeah,
objective. And that
exactly.
was the thing, because if ever the Vanguards was on the side of AXG Next Gen, that could have been game. However, it was the theft, it was the final blow towards that
Yeah.
objective. Next time around, AXG Next Gen, they were gonna push. It was Haru that was cutting down, finding those segue pushes as
Mhm.
well, chasing them around, grabbing that attention in order for the side of AXG to group up on him. Gem with a follow up, and the rest of the gang, and the rest is history. 2-0, and I have to say, for the MVP for this series, Haru has to be that guy. Haru has to have that recognition on towards his name. But I have to give props as well to Gem for having that shadow in this game.
Yeah, exactly. And I think your Haru really also deserves the praise because again, as what we've said, he has done a lot of things and he was able to extend the game before Gem is finally ready to bring up the cards onto the table and defeat Next Gen. And that really led them to their victory. And if you take a look at it, even with the damage right here, still with El Piso as well, you have to also admire El Piso for the damage that she has done, because it was also very crucial in the team fights, and she was also one of the key players that was able to bring the team to victory, and as well as Dolia. And as what I've said a while ago, it was really a game of teams. It wasn't a game of who's gonna be MVP. All of them
Yeah,
really
true.
helped each other out. Both of the teams really, and it was just lacking for the side of Next Gen, as they weren't able to anticipate Fuzi's push, and thus leading to the victory of Eureka.
This is now the tournament side. The grand finals will be in
yeah.
between Exalt Esports versus Eureka. So PH versus PH is the name of the game for Boom Fest Tournament Honor of Kings, because from 64 teams, we are now down to 2 teams, Mr. Moiki. Exalt versus Eureka. And I have to say, Eureka, you need to study for Exalt, especially at how they play in the early
Yeah.
game, but how they shut down your junglers. And Exalt, you need to study Eureka with Mr. Haru and Mr. Gem here. These are top contenders of the tournament, and there's a reason why they are here, Mr. Moiki.
Yes, exactly. As what they've said, Exalt Esports, they are also very ready for the fire. And even with Eureka, I think the key player for, I mean, the key move for Exalt Esports is to really go very aggressively. And once that Eureka will be able to put a stop on that, then maybe they could have a fighting chance to win in the grand finals. But again, Exalt Esports, they also have their unique game style.
That is indeed true. And that is the coverage for the games that we have today, Mr. Markey. And I have to say, those were pretty intense games in the semifinals in between those two. However, we have two victors for today. It's Eureka and Exalt. And we'll see you guys tomorrow. But we have been your casters for today. My name is Dion. I'm here with Moiki. And let's get excited. Let's get ready for tomorrow's game in the grand finals of Boomfest Tournament Hero of Kings. See you guys tomorrow.